Hi, hello, and welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Sheba. This is Fitzgerald's Garden of Goodies, and we're here in the Sunshine Room where we're just going to be having some casual talk today about a few mistakes that I see some of us make when we're planting seeds. So, if you're new to my channel, thank you for tuning in today. And if you like what you see, would you give me a thumbs up and subscribe? Click the bell, and you'll be notified every time I drop a video. If you're already a subscriber, thank you. You rock. You know I celebrate you. Woo woo. Thank you. So, like I said today, we're just casually here talking today about a few mistakes that we make when we're planting our seeds. So I have my seeds sitting out of what I'm going to plant today. So let's see. We'll start out with talking about the seeds that I want to start today and go over a few mistakes that I see we make, okay, when starting seeds. So I'm going to be planting some licorice basil, cinnamon basil. This pack says Thai holy basil, but I don't know if it's separate or the same, but I've seen holy basil and I've seen Thai basil. This is Thai holy basil. We're going to plant some dwarf Greek basil, dark purple basil, sweet basil large leaf, and tree basil. Kind of like a little bonsai. Thank you. And I did a seed trade and I got an extra one in there and she sent me some cayenne pepper long. I want to plant those too. So I have my seed mix, my soil mix here. We're going to talk about that too. All right. That's actually part of what we're going to talk about. So let's get started. All right. So first off, what I noticed that I see we do labeling. I see a big mistake. People usually use an ink pen or a pencil, chalk or pencil, ink pen, or a marker, a Sharpie. Those are big mistakes because with the humidity and after you water them or after rain, it fades away and then you don't even know what you planted there. So what I would suggest is a UV ray resistant um, pen to mark what you planted there or color code. These are my color coded labels. Use color coded and write it down in the house. Okay, orange is turnips, blue is tomatoes, or pink is peppers. So keep that in the house and you just go by what color you see for your labeling. So that's a way of, you know, helping out with the labeling, right? That's another mistake that I see. Another mistake that I see is not using pre-moistened soil when you get ready to get started. This soil here is usually really fluffy and it's super, super dry when you first get started, right? Planting, getting ready to plant your seeds. So what I would suggest is pre-moisten your soil because that soil is so dry that it tends to um, that soil is so dry that it tends to just roll off when you put that water on there. So pre-moisten your soil. That's another thing that I see we make mistakes doing. Um, excuse me. But we pre-moistened our soil, right? Which leads me to the third point is compact, packing your soil. You know, if you didn't pre-moisten it, you might have some dry pockets in there. So when you get your soil and you start putting it in your cell trays, you just kind of Slightly pack it in there. You need to pack it in there because this soil mix, if you use a mixed soil for your starting soil mix, what I'm trying to say, it's usually really dry and it'll soak that water up. So make sure it's pre-moistened and make sure you kind of pack it down so you don't have any air pockets. Just gently. Don't press and pack, okay? Don't press and pack. Just gently pack it. Um, Also, let's see, what else? I see another big mistake of people planting their seeds too deep, right? If you plant your seeds too deep, that seed is gonna be using up all its energy trying to get to the top of the soil so that it can get to the light. So there's no need to plant your seeds all the way deep, like deep holes. Dig a deep hole and plant those seeds in there. Don't do that. You know, the seed is trying to plant it just at a surface level, about an inch. If you look on the back of your pack that you bought your seeds, it'll tell you how deep your seeds need to go. So don't plant them so deep, okay? Just kind of like an inch under the soil, just top layer, okay? Um, another, and which I'll say that leads me to when I say planting your seeds so deep, that leads me to this watering your watering cans, right? So I don't suggest you using these watering cans. This is a mistake. Yeah, they look cute and it's candy, it's small, but when I say people plant their seeds too deep, this also contributes to planting your seeds too deep because if you pour that water in there, it's such an abrupt water stream, it's going to disturb your seeds. It'll shift your seeds around and it may sink them deeper. So don't use these. That's a mistake. I know they're handy in there. I wouldn't suggest using that. What I would suggest you using instead of a big watering can indoors because of how it can shift your seeds, what I would say is look at this. So I've already started putting seeds in there, dirt, so I want my soil in there. What I do, so this is just a tray that had some cells in there, so I reuse everything. So I'm going to take these out and show you what I do to help with my watering. So it's just an empty tray. I take a paper towel, probably about 3 or 4 of them. I stick them at the bottom, nice and snug. I take my trays that I'm starting my seeds. I stick them nice and neatly in there. They don't have to be neat, but I just put them in there. So I put my trays in there. I water from the bottom. It's called bottom watering. It's just when you water from the right here, I would just use this and pour my water in that way. So that, and see these trays, they all have holes at the bottom. The roots are gonna suck that water up. And then I can just pour enough in here and it's probably good for about 10 days. So I don't have to worry about disease because if you pouring from up top and say you got some tomatoes are sensitive to disease. You don't have to worry about this splattering up and getting on your leaves because you're doing bottom watering. So watering is also another mistake that I see a few of us making when we're starting our seeds. Um, so that is another one. Also, I see another mistake is, hmm, oh, I know. I got that from my grandson. I know. Starting seeds too early. Hey, I see a lot of y'all starting beans in the house. Y'all, when I tell y'all beans are probably green beans, pole beans, bush beans are probably one of the easiest crops to grow, and it's really no need to start those early. We still probably have about 30, maybe 30 to 60 days still left before we can really get outside and start planting. Some of those bush and pole beans, 65 days, they're ready. So what are you going to do with all these beans growing everywhere? Because depending on what kind you got planted, they'll grow everywhere. So that's another mistake that I see some of us making is starting our seeds way too early. Okay. Also, I know I see another problem or another mistake that we make on starting our seeds. Starting our seeds and not thinking about outside, right? So the sun moves, right? The sun travels. Our grow lights don't. They stay in the same spot. They don't travel. So think about your seeds when you're planting them. Don't plant a tall, big boy tomato next to a dwarf basil because your grow light doesn't move, and that tomato plant is gonna hinder some of that light that your dwarf basil needs, and they need that light to grow. Okay, so I see that mistake too. So keep in mind what seeds you're planting next to each other because that grow light doesn't move like the sun. It doesn't give that same heat that like that sun. So what you can do though, if you're gonna do that, if you just have to, every day turn it. Go in there and just turn it. Every other day, turn it. If you walk by it, turn it. Okay? So that'll give everybody equal opportunity to some of that light. They need that light to grow. All right? So another mistake that I see are grow mats. Oh my gosh, grow mats. Okay, grow mats are excellent. They help with germination. They are what you need for germination. I mean, you don't need it, but a nice warm room will do. But if you have a grow light, the thing about those, as soon as your seedlings emerge, take them off the grow mat. Take them off the grow mat because you know, the temperature will get up to about 80, 85 degrees. Some of those plants, they can't handle that. Just think about your brassicas. Your brassicas, like your broccoli, your cabbage, yes, they need that heat to germinate the seed. But as soon as that seed emerges, broccoli and all of that, they want you to get them off of that. Get them off because they prefer cooler temperatures. So take those seedlings off of those mats as soon as you see them. Get them off because that can also have an adverse effect called dampening off. So, and when that happens, you'll take them off, and then they'll just kind of wilt over and die. Which also leads me to you got the grow mats that sometimes people use too much and just keep your plants on them. Yeah, the heat is good, but you got to take them off. 65, 70 is great, okay? Which leads me to those humidity domes. The humidity domes is perfect. It's great for controlling your watering because, as you know, when you keep your dome on, the condensation creates water. So that's less watering, which is great. But you have to think about as soon as those seedlings emerge, they need to come out of that dome. That humidity, it just breeds bacteria. Okay? So you got to get the seedlings out of there. Well, just open the top up. You don't have to take them out. I'm not saying take them out, but just open it up. Okay? So you open those seedlings up and let them get some air. I'm just kind of packing this down since I have these all ready. And I did pre-moisten my soil. Okay. So let's see if I can think of any other um, mistakes that we do make. Like I say, we're gonna do the labeling. Use color coding because it will rub off in the rain or the sun. After a while, the sun changes the color. uh, of the ink, and the ink will run. So make sure you do that and try your watering from the bottom. I did this one the same way. I've already lined it with paper towel. As you can see, the paper towel is under there. And I will just water from the bottom. Or if you've heard of the holeless trays, those holeless trays they work the same as this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue planting. I'm going to plant some of my seeds that I have here. Um, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Just give me a call. I'll answer. Well, no, you just leave me some comments and questions about starting seeds. And I hope this helped you on your journey on seed starting. Um, Leave comments below. And if you have any questions, come on over to us on Facebook. It's on Facebook, and it's Fitzgerald's Garden of Goodies. And we answer questions. If you have concerns about what you're going through, we're there for you. Okay? So, again, thank you for tuning in today. I hope this helped with your seed starting. And happy planting to you. All right? So, thank you again for tuning in to Fitzgerald's Garden of Goodies. And I'm Sheba.